so everybody watch your mouth.
Oh,
Right, are we going?
You're going.
All right. Welcome to the January 2021 BP meeting. And Fran will not be with us tonight. She has a double whammy. She has COVID and a broken ankle. So look forward to having her be well and with us next month. So in January, we always start off with election of officers. And I don't know. Ed, would you want to take over as president?
I'm going to nominate you to be the president again, Stevie.
So how do we do this, Michelle? Can I second that?
You can, or you don't have to. You can just ask yourself if you want to nominate somebody else. You really make a mess. You'll have a tie vote that I don't think the mayor can break BPA tie votes. He's not a member.
Well,
I might have to just give in for another year.
Yeah, I'm willing to do it. And it didn't sound like he was grabbing at the chance. So do we vote?
Sure.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, and then I would nominate Ed for vice president. So unless you decline,
Nope, I'm good with that.
Then all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you. Thank you for this honor. And we'll call the meeting to order. So we had minutes from December. Ed, did you see anything on there you would like to ask about or change?
No, I thought they looked good.
Yeah. I saw on the 1, 2, 3, 4th paragraph, there was one typo, and it's almost impossible to catch all of those, but it said plus the turn on fee will will be due, not D, but fee. Everybody knows what that means. All right, you want to make a motion to approve?
Oh, yes. So I move we approve the minutes from our December meeting.
All right, I'll second the motion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, then we have finances. Of course, we have financial reports. And we had the end of the year report. And then I think Deb separated it or sent us a second copy that was starting the new year. So I don't know, anybody have any, Ed, do you have any questions about those?
I don't. Everything looked okay to me.
Yeah. Donna, anything you wanted to share with us?
Nope, nothing.
Okay.
So then,
excuse me, Ed?
no, go ahead. Go ahead, Steve. Sorry.
Okay. Then we had a payment register, and I am curious. This was on the list that came from January 8th, and it was labeled Procrastinator Workshop for Turk. And I'm curious about that.
so it's a water wastewater combined seminar for people that wait till the end of the year when they need CEUs. So that's why they call procrastinators.
So he was the procrastinator. He was not learning to be one.
No, he's got it down. He's good.
Okay.
And he did that virtually.
Use the new computer.
Yes, the last 2 workshops that he attended, he did virtually at the water plant.
All right. Ed, did you have any questions?
I don't. I was good with this as well.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve the financial report?
Yep. And I move we approve the financial report from
I'll second
December.
it. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Then we have our aging report. And I don't know. it's confusing when you look at these, I think. In many cases, people who have payment plans have a total that is going down. Sometimes it's only going down like $5, but at least it's less. But then there are some people, I think, who have a big balance and they don't have a payment plan yet. And there are some people who are 60 days past due. So I don't know. I'm just thinking that Tandy is probably on top of this and it all makes sense to her.
Is there a specific one you're looking at? If a lot of times we're not going after anybody that doesn't have a balance of $100. So
Okay.
I'm just trying to find one.
Yeah, the ones I have circled are all seem to be under $100.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't get a late notice if they're under $100.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, Don, is everybody current on their payment plan? I know last month there was, I think it was one person that was behind, and we ended up having to shut them off, or at least threaten with getting shut off.
Yeah, there was a learning curve with these payment plans a little bit. And at first, I don't think we had them set up correctly, but we have it all fixed now. So I think everybody's starting to fall off. I think we only have maybe 7 people at the most, that are really on the payment plan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, more than that, but yeah, they seem to be paying. Oh, gosh, I'm just tripping all over myself. So they're staying current, but at first they were not current because they would fall off. They weren't making a payment and then they would fall off and then we didn't pick it up again. But we fixed that problem and they're going down now. Make sense?
And I'm wondering, there was an article in the Beacon Journal about utilities as a whole and how people were having difficulty receiving their bill because of the post office. So I'm wondering how that's affecting us and if we have figured out what to do about it.
You know what? The mail was absolutely horrible here. People that were doing the payment through their bank, where they actually send a paper check to us. We still have people that said that they have mailed it. They showed us proof that they did pay it through like a statement or whatever, but we still haven't gotten those checks. So like today, I saw something that was postmarked from December 18th that we just got today from somebody. And we're still going after them like they didn't pay it. And then if we do get their check and they mail another check, we're just crediting both of those checks to their accounts. And they seem to be okay with that. A lot of them just thought that as soon as they did this payment through the bank that we automatically got it. They didn't even realize that the bank was mailing live checks to us.
Yeah.
I will say also, I've experienced it a couple of times that Donna and Tandy offer paper copies to anybody that didn't get their bill and had concerns. So they'll reprint and hand them to anybody who comes in inquiring for it. So it's not that they have no other option. They call and ask balances and they can get a reprint from the office with a smile.
What's the one that says suspended account? Is that like done or?
Oh, the last one there on the last page?
Yeah.
They went out of town, so they're just not getting their bill.
Oh,
Yeah.
like it's a closed account. They're not coming back, or we can't.
No, they come back on.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I think the important thing is if you look, the 120-day balance is really one account. The 90 days only $340. The 60 days only $2,000. In the grand scheme of things, that's not huge.
And the one that's 120 days was the one that had the bad water leak, right?
That's correct. They're making payments,
And
but
they're
that's,
making payments. So
yes.
yeah, it actually looks pretty good to my.
And when you compare totals, the total from this month and last month are very similar. And in my head, I thought it would be going down, but
Mhm.
I think actually it's probably going to stay the same because every month we're going to have a few people who are new to the list, some people who come off the list, but I think it's just going to be a rotating door.
Right. I'd like to maybe keep one of these and compare it to like a year. You know what I mean? Like compare a month to a month, the same month.
Yeah.
And if you do go, like if you pick individual accounts, you can see the amounts are coming down. You know, like if we look at that, the big one,
Yeah.
if you look at that compared to the December aging report, it is coming down.
Yeah.
You know, and I just did the same thing with a couple of the other ones that obviously aren't as big, and the balances are decreasing.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, please pass along our thanks to Tandy and thanks to you, Donna. I'm sure that there are tricky situations that come about because of this. I think you're doing a good job.
Well, thank you.
Okay, and all right, it is January. We said we'd talk about reinstituting the late fee. Any thoughts on that?
I personally think we should hold off for a little bit longer, just because the mail is so bad also, and people are still reeling from the COVID. I mean,
Okay, I think that is good advice.
mhm.
You
I agree.
that,
I
Ed?
have no issue pushing it out either.
All right, maybe we'll keep that on the agenda, but probably not plan on acting on it for at least several months. Okay, superintendent's report. And Jeff, I'd like to congratulate you for your annual summary. I love that report. And you do such a good job writing it, and it's so rewarding to look back and see what's been accomplished over the last year. So thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I agree with that completely, Jeff. It's very well done and impressive.
Well, again, it wasn't a difficult one to write this year. I mean, it was pretty clear. The theme of it anyway, I should say, but we still managed to get quite a bit accomplished, and in spite of all the craziness with the pandemic. And so I think it's a nice report card for the employees, if nothing else, to take a look at and see what they accomplished or were part of, and just like a little snapshot of that particular year's highlights. So I think it's a tool that is helpful. And so if you guys enjoy it, that's even better. So I'll put it on the web page. I'll have Howie or Deb put it on the web page so it's accessible to the public too. As far as superintendent's report, precip wise, it was a slightly wetter year, but they're getting more common. You know, if you look down the list, it falls in line. I mean, typically Ohio's under 40 precip a year, so we're a little bit on the high side. But you can see we didn't have any over 1.2 million gallons treated in a day, and 11 over 500,000, which is a comfortable operating zone. The plant's designed for 500,000 a day operating. And then on the report itself, because I haven't completed the review on the storm sewer work on Fox Hollow, but 75% done. And for the most part, there were only two minor things on the sanitary side. And then I haven't got anything on the storm sewer side yet. So I envision that utility wise, I should have that completed by, my goal is before the meeting on Wednesday night, and I'd give Tom the review at that time, so council would have it. Then if you take a look, I mean, the month was kind of peppered with some inconveniences. Saturday the 12th, Christmas Day, the day after Christmas, Sunday after that, power failures, sewer backups, water leaks, just a normal December, quiet, relaxing holiday season. And I did note that the total number of commercial power outages, significant power outages on the annual report, just to give you guys an idea of why the standby generators are important. And when we get the new alarm systems in the lift stations, it'll definitely help with the monitoring of the current system. When the power goes out at my house, the messaging doesn't come to my house. The new one will go to my cell phone, so it won't matter if the power's out on Freedom Street. So that'll make it a lot easier for high level alarms and power outages. We had, flipping to the last page, you can see that we had 20 malfunctioning devices at the year end in the month of December, and we're up to 60 that we can't replace because the 3G registers are back ordered. I gave you the total of 515 since 2017, and then later this afternoon, I got the revised quote from Ferguson for the master meter switch over to 4G tech that we've talked about multiple times. That particular price includes the FCC permit, which takes 30 days to set up. So even if we authorize the change tonight, it would be a month before we would get our license, and then we could start the training within a week or two and do the switch over. So it would take about 2 months just to switch over to software. They take our laptop and they put a new software on it so it can read both 3G and 4G at the same time. And then there's a 2-day training that comes with that. And then we'd be up and running and we'd be able to get 4G meters. I have 50 replacement registers coming that should be here this week. Hopefully that's their estimated time. And then I gave you they sent me the graph on the health report just to touch bases on it. I mean, it's, or we don't touch bases on it. No, I don't know where that came from, but you can see that the way that we purchased the meters, where we purchased 684 of them, but 2010 and prior, and that's that targeted area. They're including the 2021, which are the 2011 300 meters that we bought. That was the lion's share. Almost 1,000 meters were purchased from 2011 backwards. And that's our target area. If you take a look at that 811, they're saying are critical. Some of those are the ones we put the replacement registers on. The software doesn't recognize whether the register was replaced in the last 3 or 4 years, but it shows that the meters are at or above 10 years, 10 to 11 years. And that's why they recommend, the AWWA, the Drinking Water Foundation, recommends changing meters or calibrating, testing them for accuracy every 10, 12 years. Again, for the accuracy reason, so that if they get challenged, you can say, hey, the meter systems are accurate and they're within a 10, 12 year period. So, I mean, if you were looking for a time to switch to the 4G, this is really not a bad time to do it. Aging wise, I mean, the quote includes 250 meters, the 4G. At normally the meters would cost 225, but the loyalty program brings it to 176 per device. So for every register that we take out of the system, we would get a replacement register for $176. That's 4G, which is the state of the art currently. So I don't know if this is the time you want to chat about it, but it would be something I would recommend if the board had any thoughts on it. I mean,
Well, I think you have worked on the budget for this year. And was this included in our planning for
yes.
this year?
Yes, I mean, it was one of the targeted items that we had, the quoted 49,500.
Jeff, that's the amount that we had in the budget, was the full 49.5 for this?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was included. I mean, it's definitely in the budget. If you look at our revenues, we were at 103 or 103%ish, and our carryover is very, very good as well. So it's a project that could get performed, and I would say sooner would be better than later. If we're going to go back up to 20 devices a month times 12 months, that's 240 meters that we would be looking at potentially having malfunctioning in the course of this year. So rather than put old technology that I'm having a hard time getting replacement registers for, or only getting a partial credit for. If you remember the warranty, once it hits year 11, it's like $110 per register, and after year 12 or 13, I think it's $130. So it's not much of a savings at that point. You might as well put in a newer technology, a newer register. So
Jeff, just so I'm looking at this quote correctly, the one you sent us just before the meeting. So basically, they're gonna throw in, because of the loyalty program, almost $19,000 worth of things at no cost.
that is correct. They want us to go over to 4G too. They're having a difficulty supplying the 3G technology. It's the old technology, and it's hard to make the registers and support it. So they would like to get us off of it as well. And this is how they're trying to encourage the village to do it with that savings.
Same price they quoted last year.
And the year before, actually. So it's held firm the last 2 years.
Yeah, but there's no guarantee it would hold firm. I think it's something we've talked about for a long time, and I think we knew it was in our future.
Yeah, I guess, I'm thinking, is there a reason not to do it? I mean, if we're gonna be paying, what'd you say, Jeff, $116?
110 if it's 11 and 12 years, and 130 if it's, I think, 13 through 15, or 14 through 16 or whatever. But it's still a substantial part of it. It's 60%, 70% of the cost of a new one.
Right. I guess that's kind of why I'm leaning towards, do we just bite the bullet and do this now and have 240 new meters to install? I guess that's where I'm thinking we should go, Stephanie.
I think it's a good idea. Be a good way to start our new year.
And we would get the full meter and replace the full meter, not just the register, when we go to the 4G. That way we're turning over the meter starting hour one again, or year one, so that it's a new metering system at that time. So, and again, I would strongly recommend it unless the board has concerns financially, but it's a bill that's going to come due, and we might as well address it as quickly as we can and get going.
So Jeff, this $198 a piece that's quoted, It says UTG register, but that's an entire meter on that line, correct?
Right. So if you see the multi-jet with the register, that means it's the body and the register. It's the entire
so the multi. Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Well, would you like to move we do this?
Yeah. So I move that we proceed with purchasing 250 4G meters from Ferguson Waterworks for a price not to exceed $49,500.
Yep.
I'll second the motion. Are there any questions? Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay. And then as far as the rest of the superintendent's report, I mean, if anybody had any particular questions or anything on any of the line items.
So Jeff, I think it was on the 12th. The police reported a water leak.
So what happens is that the residents call in the evenings or on weekends. We're not staffed, so they're instructed to call the police department, and dispatch contacts us. So
Okay.
It was internal leak in a home, and their shutoff valve was broken, so they couldn't isolate it. So the plumber had them call the police, and then I went out and shut the service off so they could replace the shutoff valve on the inside and stop the leak.
Okay. I was thinking the police found the leak, which seemed odd to me.
Well, they do when their main breaks, and it's much appreciated. Trust me. But yeah, that's the contact point for off hours and weekends.
Jeff, do you want to say anything about personnel?
Well, I pointed it out on both the annual and the note at the bottom of the superintendent's report that the last week of November from Thanksgiving on was, timing wise, it metered out fairly well because it's like for the most part, it was an employee missing every 2 week for a 2 week period, and then the next one, and then the next one. But it made it so staffing wise, between administrative leave and quarantine, that we operated with normally 2 to 3 people at a time through the entire month. If you can see, there were 27 days that I lost employees related to COVID. And then there were people that took vacations and stuff because it was a holiday, month, but it was pretty chaotic. It was a little bit lonely around here. So we made it. It's not that, but it was a challenging month that way. And nobody got severely sick or anything, nothing lingering. So mostly it was just like bad flus.
And I think your leave policy came into effect just at the right time. Maybe.
Yeah, it actually
late, but yeah.
Yeah, we had one fella on, got it prior to the enactment, but then it fell right in timing wise. And the mayor was right there.
Okay, thank you. All right. South Street. Do we need to take action on anything tonight as far as that goes?
Yeah, just give you a little rundown. The design is finished. Today, I got a copy of the EPA application for submittal. We'll get that done and submitted hopefully electronically this week. We did the soil borings on the last day of the year. And so the next thing would be to advertise to bid. And we'd like to do that in early February prior to the next board meeting. So I'd like a motion or recommendation up to council that we advertise and bid the South Street water main replacement project in February. And is that correct, Michelle? That would be a motion and an action, of council?
Right. You would recommend it up to council, and I can prepare legislation authorizing Arcadis to do the documents.
Then I guess I'll move that we recommend to council that we bid the South Street project.
Aye. Are you in favor of that, Ed?
Yeah, you were breaking up there.
Oh,
See,
I'm
I'm sorry.
all in favor, say aye.
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 And then the timeline again is we would advertise and bid in February. We would do the bid opening in March. We would award in April, and the project would go between May and October. And hopefully the weather holds so we can get the paving done at the end of the project so it wouldn't linger through the winter of this year, or this year, next year. So, and the only one little thing that changed when we were doing the design, at the intersection of White Street and South, there are 2 water mains that come down off of White Street. And to make it an easier transfer when we do the project, we're going to, prior to May, the village will go and abandon one of the 2 water lines. It's a water main, a 6-inch main that just supplies water to the Mill Run condos. And we would just tie it like a service line straight over to the existing 8-inch and get rid of one water main in that intersection. So we wouldn't have to tie it up, retie it and connect it during the project. So that would be something we'll just schedule and get taken care of this spring.
And that's something we'd have to bring in an excavator and have that done.
Yeah, I think it's just because of there's a gas line in the way, a telephone pole in the way. I mean, there'd be a couple things that might be more than just a rubber tire backhoe can do, Ed. And I'd get quotes for that and have those in the next month or 2.
Okay.
It's just a 1-day job. It would require depressurization. We'd have to shut the water temporarily off for an hour or 2 on the condos, but that's the only people that would be affected.
Okay. Let's see. I think you already gave us information about Fox Hollow. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, nothing regarding water and sewer.
Okay. sewer interceptor? I don't think I've seen any activity.
No, and we probably won't for another 10 days because COVID hit that contractor as well. And the owner, operator Johnny, is currently quarantined for 10 more days because he tested positive. So it kind of hit his staff as well in the last month. So, and again, Stevie, we talked about it. You know, they say that 15% of the public or population's been affected by it, but it seems like it's a bigger number than that in my personal circle. So. But it should be, he said he would get on it as soon as he was allowed out. So hopefully by the end of the month, we'd have it done.
Good. All right. And it's probably still too cold to think about our event screen and our insect screen.
Yeah, it's on my list of things to do is to get the quote secured, and hopefully I'd have it by the next month. We could, you know, go ahead and authorize purchase the material and put it in the spring before it gets warm.
All right. And I have well maintenance on the list, but I'm not positive. Are we okay with both wells now, or do we still need maintenance?
So number 19 was the P&M work was done. It's back in line. It was number 20 that had a vibration, and they removed the well, the column pipes and everything. And they found that the column pipe that was, is 7 years old, and something in the way it was threaded created a vibration, and it broke 3 bearings, weight bearings, that every 10 feet in the column pipe, there's a bearing, they call it a spider, that allows the pipe to spin. And 3 of those were broke from the vibration. So they were actually supposed to be in last week and put it back with new column piping, but I don't know, they didn't show, but we're scheduled to have that done any day now.
Okay.
Well, with the cost of that, Jeff, is that going to be pretty significant?
Well, it was, I think each of the bearings were $80, and the column piping is like $400 for a 10-foot section. So it's going to be, a $5,000 to $10,000 repair. So, but to lose a well's a bigger deal. For it to break and drop down in the well casing is a nightmare. That's a really expensive repair. So we're avoiding that.
Okay. And Fran said there's no news about water monitoring. We already dealt with our water metering system. Is there anything else on the hold list you want to talk about, Jeff?
No, the next thing I would, ask for would be the controls at the water plant. You know, when I was talking about the power outages, the water plant's a big one because every time the power goes out in either the west side of the industrial side where the standpipe is, those controls turn the plant on and off based on the readings there. So anytime we lose electric there, the water plant gets an erroneous signal. So if the system's full and the power goes out, it thinks that the water levels dropped and it turns on. So it has to be manually operated till the power comes on. And then of course, if the power's off on the east side, it directly affects the plant. So the control update would make it a lot easier to operate the water plant remotely, to monitor remotely and operate. So that would be the next thing, looking at the controls that in the quotation we got from Ventronics back in January of 2020. I didn't touch bases with them prior to the meeting, but I can check with them to see if their quote's still accurate a year later. I don't think it changed, but it would be something to seriously consider for 2021, whether you act on it tonight or not. It's something we really should put on the agenda.
Okay. Well, let's plan on talking about that next month.
Okay.
All right. That is all I have on my list. Ed, do you have anything else?
I do not. I'm good.
Okay, Donna,
I have nothing.
Michelle, do you have any items to discuss?
No items.
Okay. And Rick?
Nothing.
Tom? Tom, who I know is there. maybe not. Let's see, Michelle, are you able to monitor? Are there any questions from anyone listening?
I've been watching and there's no comments or questions.
Okay. Well, I think we're in plenty of time for the football game.
Yeah.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Michelle, thank you for setting this up.
Thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you. So long.
Bye.
Later. Bye-bye.